school, one of those few days that I was paying attention in class, science class, and we were learning about motion and activity and all of those things, and I found out that Newton's first law of motion is that an object in motion stays in motion.
That's right.
An object at rest stays at rest.
Right.
And the only thing that can cause an object that is at rest to become an object that is in motion, it's required that something or somebody does something.
That's right.
It's a requirement that some type of power or force is put behind the object at rest to cause it to become an object that is in motion.
Push.
Here we find in this particular text that Nathan is the power or the force that causes Bathsheba to become the object that is in motion. Bathsheba, all of this time, she's busy, she's preoccupied with being the king's wife. Meanwhile, the enemy is trying to steal her future. So while she's busy having conferences, the enemy is out parading, trying to destroy everything that she's worked her whole life to create. While she's busy having church, the enemy is trying to take away the very thing that she birthed into the earth to be a blessing to her, while she's busy doing the church thing, while she's busy wearing the ornaments, while she's busy looking cute, while she's busy walking around in her cute pumps and her stilettos. And I like stilettos, but I understand that I can't get so preoccupied with my stilettos that I ignore the fact that my future is in danger. So it is a requirement that she does something. And so Nathan comes to her and says, don't you know that this boy out here trying to be king?
Come on now.
David has already promised you that your son would be the next king. So, seeing as how Solomon, really can't appoint himself, and you are in the position to make something happen, I need you to go and do something.
Come on.
What's going on is David is old. Bottom line, David is old. He's on his deathbed. He's about to kick the bucket. He's headed to Cole's funeral home. On his way to Stinson. On his way to Parker.
I see.
On his way out, he's getting ready to die. And while the saints are waiting on David to die, the enemy is already working. While the saints are chilling, the saints are churching. Saints are having revival and nothing's being revived. Saints are preaching about power and there is no power. Saints are singing, send your anointing and saturate us in your anointing and open the floodgates of heaven and let it rain. Meanwhile, the enemy is outside making puddles already because we're looking for rain and the enemy is at the lake where the water already is.
Pull on it.
So now we see that this is a matter of life and death, and it's required that we do something. Adonijah is out, and the Bible declares that he's gotten these chariots for himself because he wants to ride like a king. Goes and he gets all of these men to run in front of the chariot. You don't mind if I take my time a little bit, because I like this story, so I like to take my time with it. So he goes and he gets all of these men to run in front of the chariot because he wants it to sound like a king is coming. He goes and he grabs all of these garments and he dresses himself up because he wants to look like a king. The Bible declares, if you read the whole chapter, that he goes and he kills all of these oxen and he's, smashing all of the lamb chops, and, he went and got the filet mignon and he got shrimp and lobster and all of this kind of stuff on the table because he wants to eat like a king. The problem is that he was never ordained to be a king. Not only was he not ordained to be a king, but the Bible declares that he even managed to get some priests and some ministers and some pastors and some preachers and some bishops to walk through the street with him. Can I stick a pin right here? Just because people look anointed does not mean that they are anointed. Just because they dress anointed does not mean that they are anointed. Just because they dance like they sanctified does not mean that they're sanctified. Just because the skirt is all the way to the floor does not mean that she's holy. Just because he's got nice cufflinks and pointy toe shoes and he's got charisma